G'day everyone, welcome back to my weekly tipping video. As always, this preview is brought to you by PlayUp. If you are thinking of having a punt on the NRL this round, make sure it's through PlayUp, guys. But as always, please gamble responsibly. Hey guys, Clarkey here. Welcome back to my round 24 NRL tips. Before we begin, I should probably address what's happened here. I lost a bet last week. I took my Titans to either beat the Melbourne Storm or not lose by more than 13 points. Now, we lost by 14 in the end. And Jamal Fogarty had a kick just out to the left of the post to save my... I don't know if you can call it a goatee, but it's meant to be a goatee of some description just because I feel like I look super young without it. And he missed. So, yeah, look, Jamal Fogarty, but it is what it is. And, yeah, you guys will be seeing me like this for the next little bit until my beard, please, grows back nice and quick. But let's jump straight into it, guys. Let's get into my round 24 NRL tips. Thursday tonight, guys, we've got the Gold Coast Titans taking on the Newcastle Knights at Sunshine Coast Stadium. Now, this is a little bit unlucky for the Titans, but it is fair because one thing I've noticed is the Gold Coast Titans for almost every game since they've moved to Queensland has been at Seabus Super Stadium, their home ground, the stadium they know best, and they've been the away team for a lot of those games, but obviously still Titans fans are going, even though it's an away game, and they have an advantage here. Tonight they're at Sunshine Coast Stadium, and they won't have that. Now, as far as this game goes, the Titans are 9th and the Knights are 7th. I thought the Knights looked a little bit flat last week, only defeating the Bulldogs by 6 points. At their best, the Knights are a much better team than that. They will, with all due respect to the Bulldogs, they will smash them 9 times out of 10. So I think the Knights look a little bit flat right now, but the Titans do also. You know, they've sort of been so up and down all throughout the season, smashed by the Bunnies, competed with the Storm to an extent, but overall, I'm really on the fence for this one. And when I'm on the fence, 9 times out of 10, I'm going to go with my heart. My heart tells me the Titans because I'm a big Titans fan, but I wouldn't be shocked if it went the other way. So I'll play a safe one here, guys. I'll tip the Titans to win this one by 1 to 12 points. Friday night, 6 p.m, guys, at BB Print Stadium. Now, I'm not sure where that is, but the New Zealand Warriors, they take on the Canberra Raiders. Probably with the Raiders in this one, guys. Look, the Warriors are 11th and the Raiders are 10th. They are close on the ladder, but I do think the Raiders are a better football side. It will be close. The Warriors have been so brave for so long now, but eventually that needs to run out. And what I do like for the Raiders is CNK on the bench again. I feel like he's really underrated and he's sort of a bit of a glue for this side. His play style necessarily, I think if Chance was to sign some other team and play fullback, I don't think he would be as good. But what Chance does with his high effort plays, it really suits the Raiders system. It glues them together. And, you know, when they're coming off their own 10 metre, Chance is the one that puts his hand up and says, yeah, I'll have a hit up, which not a lot of fullbacks do. And so his style really suits the Raiders, and him being on the bench here and not having to play the full 80, I think that's really good for the club, because I also think Jordan Rapana is playing really, really good at fullback. He's not playing really good for the full 80 because he is a winger, and at fullback he does have the odd error in his game. But by not playing him for the full 80, you eliminate those odds per se. And I think we'll see Chance involved a little bit earlier in this one. And we could even be a situation when we see Jordan come back on in the 65th minute mark in sort of a lock roll or something when we're not used to seeing him, which will add another element to the Raiders' attack. And so with all things considered, guys, I'm going to go to the Raiders here. I think the Warriors will be brave, but I think the Raiders will just have a little bit too much. So I'll go the Raiders to win that one, 1 to 12. Also, Friday night, guys, 7:55 p.m, Suncorp Stadium. The biggest rivalry in rugby league returns. We've got the Roosters taking on the Rabbitohs, and I'm really, really excited for this one. A couple of big changes for each team. Look, the Roosters just can't cup a break. Yeah, they signed Dale Copley 1 game later, fractured foot. And so Brad Abbey returns to the NRL on the wing for them, which I think is exciting. I think he's had some good games in the past. He does have some errors in his game and some stuff he needs to work on, but he has been out of the NRL for the past 2 years, so I believe he will have worked on those. Meanwhile, Josh Mansell's out for the Bunnies. Jackson Paulo comes in. Drew Hutchinson, Sam Walker back together in the halves, and I think when they're together, the Roosters do play their best footy. Sam Farrell's at hooker. Now, I think he's really underrated, and I do think the starting combination of Warrior-Hargraves and Takiaho could give the Roosters a real benefit in the middle. Especially when you look at Isaac Liu, guys, and what he's been doing the last few weeks, averaging up around 200 metres. And so I know the Roosters are massive outsiders. I can see that they're massive outsiders as far as betting is concerned also. But I'm going to go the Roosters. I'm going to go the Roosters 1 to 12. Look, I'm not fully sold on this tip. I wouldn't be surprised if the Bunnies did win because we are hitting obviously towards the end of the finals where Wayne Bennett's teams typically start to play their best football leading up to the finals, during the finals, etc. But all things considered, I will tip the Roosters here. I'm not fully sold on it, but I think they are capable of an upset. And if you are a betting man, then I do see some juicy odds there, which is definitely worth a little bit of a dabble if you so please. But I'm going to go the Roosters there, 1-12, guys. Not fully sold on that tip. Saturday, 3 p.m, Brown Park. St. George Illawarra Dragons take on the North Queensland Cowboys. I'm going to go the Dragons here. I'm going to go the Cowboys here, apologies, just because they are on such a big losing streak that eventually I feel like they have to snap. Whereas my head does tell me the Dragons should win this game. But I just think Hamiso Tabuai-Fidow at fullback. I love the look of him. Valentine Holmes at centre. I think that's a real X factor that could play into the Cowboys' hands per se. There's a few other changes throughout both lineups, but I think the most important one we need to talk about is Jason Taumalolo moving to prop for the Cowboys. Now, this should have been done a long time ago. In the modern game, Taumalolo is no longer a lock. You need a ball-playing lock, and that's what they have this week in Ruben Cotter. And so that change alone, personally, I love it. And in a close game where I'm not really sure who to tip, my heart says maybe the Cowboys, my head says the Dragons. I will go the Cowboys by 1-12 points. Saturday, 5:30 p.m, guys, the Cronulla Sharks take on the Brisbane Broncos at Suncorp Stadium. I'm going to go the Broncos here. They won last week. They're more than capable of winning again. Look, the one thing that I will say about the Broncos is, as far as their rebuild has been concerned, is they've never had a lack of good juniors. They've never had a lack of a good roster. They just simply haven't had the belief in themselves. And the win last week for them will be massive. I think they will come into this game against the Sharks with a bit of momentum. And the Sharks have been so up and down this year that I do feel they might be susceptible to a little bit of an upset. So I'll go the Broncos there, 1-12. But again, I wouldn't be shocked if it went the other way. Saturday, 7:35 p.m, guys, at Suncorp Stadium, the Melbourne Storm take on the Parramatta Eels. I'm with the Storm here, guys. I mean, I don't want to hold you guys here and explain this tip. They're looking for 20 in a row. Meanwhile, the Eels have been all out of form. They had a win last week, but it wasn't that convincing, realistically. I mean, I have to go back and see who they versed, but it was the Cowboys, who were 15th. They only won by 16 points. The Eels at the start of the year would have beat the Cowboys by 40 points, maybe 50. That's how well they were travelling. So I'm going to go the Storm there, guys. I'm going to go the Storm by 13+. Sunday, 1:50 p.m, the Manly Seagulls take on the Canterbury Bulldogs, and the Manly Seagulls are so short that I don't think I've ever seen a team this short before as far as betting odds are concerned. They beat the Bulldogs by, off the top of my head, 66 points the last time they versed. It's going to be no different this time. The Manly Seagulls are going to absolutely smoke them. Tom Trbojevic is going to have a hat trick, or he's going to set up 3 tries. Jason Saab, Ruben Garrick, lock them into your anytime multis, whatever they're called, same game multis, sorry. Lock it all in, because the Seagulls are going to flog the Bulldogs here. The Bulldogs just simply do not have the class to compete. I can see here the Bulldogs are around $15, $16 mark. I mean, they should be higher. They're no chance here. I've got Manly Seagulls winning by 30+ points. All right, and to finish off the round, guys, at Moreton Daily Stadium also, so double header. We've got the Penrith Panthers taking on the West Tigers. I'm with the Panthers here, guys. When the West Tigers beat the Panthers early this year around the Origin period, when the Panthers had so many players off, I thought the West Tigers were really disrespectful in the way they sort of carried on at full time. And I think that's really going to resonate with the Panthers here. They're going to remember it, and they're going to come out and absolutely smash the Tigers. So much so, I feel comfortable tipping the Panthers by 40 points. I know that's crazy, but I'm not going to tip them by 40+. I'm going to tip them 13+ to be safe. But if the Panthers win by 40+, I won't be too shocked. They have a rivalry with the Tigers. Their star players will obviously be upset and frustrated and angry at how the Tigers players were acting in that last game whilst they were out on Origin duty. And I think all of that's going to come together, and we're going to see a Penrith Panthers masterclass, guys. But to go over my tips one more time for the video, guys, I'm with the Titans, Raiders, Roosters, Cowboys, Broncos, Storm, Seagulls, and Tigers. Thank you so much for tuning in to my round 24 NRL tipping video, guys. Really do appreciate you being here, and I'll see you next week for round 25, which will be my final tipping video of the regular season.